Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 29th is $2 off bacon, $2 off summer sausage, and 20% off on crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in to Old School, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. 3 Lincoln locations, 1 in Omaha, where you can get every type of meat and every type of cut. I'm Oerman, holding down the fort till Jay Foreman gets in. Shouldn't be too long. 402-464-5685, the number. I'll show you can keep me company until Jay gets here as well. Let's wrap up some of the baseball conversations that Nick and I were having during On the Block today. We didn't get to all your texts during that show, but I got them pulled up here. Plenty to get to here. 8704 says if they played Sunday doubleheaders, they would end potentially a month or more earlier. That would be my vote, especially now that they play interleague all year long. That's an interesting idea. I just think that at these upper levels, the game is just so fast paced. It's such a physical game that playing 2 games in a day isn't necessarily easy, isn't necessarily simple. And the other part of it is that Sunday is the travel day. If you think about how the Major League Baseball schedule is structured, a lot of it is like college baseball in that it's Friday, Saturday, and then getaway day on Sunday, right? You have these earlier afternoon games for the most part, so teams can get their game in pretty quick, get out of town, get to the next series. Monday has been the day off for the AAA teams, but I do think that that's a little tougher than just say play doubleheaders, because Sunday has become the traditional travel day. Every so often it's Monday, then you'll play, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday again. So there's an avenue to make it work, but if you're going to play doubleheaders at home, only one team gets to stay at home. One team's already on the road. That's just how baseball is set up and works. So if both teams were in the same city or had, a short enough travel, maybe it would work. But league-wide, I don't think Sunday doubleheaders are going to work just because of the nature of the game and how the Major League Baseball schedule is structured. Isaac says they are going to do what makes the money ahead of what seems to be wholesome. We know this. Well, yes, obviously, absolutely. But this is where I do think that I have to credit the leagues. I would like to think that they know better than I do or than we do, because there are people that get paid a lot of money, are handsomely compensated to make business decisions for some of the, the biggest corporations and entities in the sports realms, whether it's teams or leagues. But I do think that there are some missed opportunities for leagues because they chase the money now instead of trying to build to long-term financial health. They missed the boat to some degree. And because of that, yeah, they might make a little bit more money now, but what are they sacrificing in the long term? I don't know how often they think about that. Old Dad 34, pitch clock needs to leave. Baseball, shorten the season, yes, but take that out of the game. Absolutely not. Pitch clock is here to stay. I think that's been really good. 1508, they're more likely to add games than take some away. Jeremy in Lincoln says, I don't like the shortened season. Understand the points. Let's not say that it saves arms. It does. And I think if you shorten the season, you could also limit the number of pitchers on a team's roster. Not that it would, save arms in the traditional sense, right? Because you have fewer pitchers, like, oh, these guys are pitching more. But that's kind of the point. If you don't allow guys to go, full on balls to the wall, max effort every time they pitch, it can keep their arms healthier, right? There's a sweet spot in there where you can throw hard enough without throwing too hard. And that's different for every arm in baseball as it is for every body type in pretty much every other sport. In Believer with an off-the-wall idea, he says, really mix it up with 6 innings and 2 outs. Now, that would be a bridge too far for me, Believer. This is Major League Baseball we're talking about, not Church League softball. He's here. Husker Hall of Famer, middle linebacker, Jay Foreman. Let's bring him in. What's up, Jay?
What up? I like that Church League softball, though. 2 outs.
You were probably hitting nukes in Church League softball, weren't you?
It was either over the fence or strikeout.
You batted righty, I bet, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You golf swing righty, too?
Yeah. Probably need to do it left, though.
See, I batted lefty in baseball back in the day. I have not swung a golf club very often, but I can't leave my baseball mechanics behind. So if I'm going to swing a golf club, I probably got to pick it up right-handed instead of left-handed.
Yeah, probably.
It's just so ingrained in my head. I mean, I played baseball like 15 years. I'm not losing that anytime soon. Not forgetting it.
I played a couple rounds with Tony Womack. He's one of my good
underrated
friends.
baller.
Yeah, and you talking about the hand-eye coordination. Doesn't have to look pretty, but I mean, just wears out the center of the club face.
Whew.
And those baseball players back in the day, they got full-on swag. Baseball players, everybody talks about the NBA players and NFL players, you see them walking to the games. Baseball players, they wired a little different.
It's true.
Yeah, the ones that are, really, really, really about it. I mean, they just are you got to have superior confidence up there. I mean, you got to really look at yourself, and sometimes you might, be 2 for 10 and be like, I'm still the best and I'm batting good.
I'm the baddest dude on the face of the
But
planet.
I'm still,
and you have to be every time you step in the box.
Yeah, you can't have any fear. One of the best things I ever was able to witness up close and personal, when I was playing with the Houston Texans, and obviously the Astros were there, and Minute Maid Park was around, so obviously it was pretty recent, and we got to take batting practice, and they had a couple guys go down there or whoever wanted to. Now, of course, David Carr was the quarterback, so they let him have unlimited because they tried to just limit how many pitches you could get, right? Yeah. I mean, they let David have as many pitches because he used to be a pretty good baseball player, and he's a great athlete and can do everything. His dad, I think, won.
Well, if he's a great athlete, he'd been gotten sacked 80 times, but
that was on the line. He was a great athlete. I'm going to give him his credit. Good dude too. His dad actually was the long drive champion in California. His dad was
way.
His dad was a cool dude, man. I used to love his dad. And Derek, a funny side note was when Derek, his brother, he was young back then, would come do quarterback drills. I'm like, dang, you look better than your brother. Nah, I'm just kidding. Well, anyways, David, finally got his over. 2 things is I got one over quick too.
Well, you had the Crawford boxes. That's short.
No.
It's cheap.
We went deep. I went center field.
Ooh, over the hill?
Yeah. No, it barely got over.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was
screaming liner.
Yeah, see, all the rest of those were down left field line. But I got mine over center, so I felt
you did it legit.
Yeah, me and Troy, the 2 linebackers, me and Troy Evans. And Troy he did his pretty quick. But then we went to the game they were playing the Giants. And so Roger Clemens was pitching. So it was standing room only when Barry Bonds came up. And you talk about, he tried to intimidate Barry Bonds, tighten him up inside. Barry just, he had that big old like RoboCop elbow pad.
Mhm.
I think it was a walk, and then I think the second time he struck him out, and by the time he came up the third time, somebody else was in there. But it was pretty interesting to see, how they went about, how they go about their business.
Well,
And
Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds are not the same physique. Those are two totally different looking dudes.
No, but Roger Clemens he's a big dude back then. I mean,
But not Barry.
He's up there because he's full Balco then. I mean, or whatever he was taking, amino acids.
Right.
They both were on amino diets, and Roger Clemens I didn't realize how big he was. He's a big Texas dude.
Yeah.
Big Texan. I mean, that's who he is. I mean, he's not like as built as Barry was back then. Barry was obviously a lot of muscle, but Roger Clemens is a big dude. Craig Biggio is not. Is it Wagner, the pitcher who just
Billy
got in?
Wagner in the Hall of Fame? Yep.
Is not short.
No.
But big legs, big, strong, trunk.
Was Jeff Kent there at that time?
No.
Berkman?
Berkman was he looked like a dude that would hang out in the garage.
Literally.
But
Straight up.
Yeah. But drink, hey, let's pound some beer. He was the
Jeff
coolest.
Bagwell?
Bagwell. He was tiny.
The Killer Bees. Mm-hmm.
He was tiny, though.
Mhm.
Short, but you could tell he'd been in the weight room.
Mhm.
Berkman was the coolest dude, man. He came one time. I mean, obviously, we won't get anybody in trouble. So he came, and we'd hang out in the off season. The defense would, and do some stuff. And the offense guys would come too. I don't want to, say that it was separation. Then we'd have at somebody's house. We have a cook, throw something on the grill.
Who was the grill master?
It was good. I'm telling you, Travis Johnson can cook.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, he can cook, man. And he had a big smoker, so we go over and, bring beer and just kick it, for pretty much all sun up to sundown. And Lance Berkman came over there and fit right in. And pound for pound, he was pounding him.
Mm.
And he's a good dude, man. And it is pretty cool to see him. Bagwell was smaller dude. I'm gonna tell you the biggest dude I ever saw, like up close and personal as a baseball player. Frank Thomas. We were in Vegas.
Big hurt.
At the Bellagio.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was playing. I'm not a gambler at all. We were out there. We were out there for a fight. They gave us money to gamble, like whatever you call it, credit. So you got to use it. If you lose it, if you don't, And so I was at the regular table. It was Frank Thomas, Barkley, and I knew Barkley. I knew him, I'd seen him before. So I don't ever want to get out of here and act like me and him are friends. So it's Frank Thomas, Barkley, and guess who the funniest dude was that walked through there? Who had the biggest swag? I won't tell you the other place I saw this person. Was Floyd Mayweather.
Money Mayweather, okay.
Had a velour tracksuit on, blue with regular blue, had white stripes. Was the funniest dude. Dude, my man ain't nothing but like 5'8", 5'9". But he walked through there like he's 6'10", chest out. Now he wasn't at the level that he is, or when he retired, but he was obviously still Floyd, and everybody knew who he was. But Frank Thomas is a big dude, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
and did it clean.
Yeah.
Frank didn't have any of those allegations with him.
Yeah, he was a big dude. And, I will tell you, my dad and Kirby Puckett were pretty tight. I knew Kirby really, really well. Like Dan Gladden lived kind of close to us. We all kind of lived in like this little townhouse development. I knew Chuck Knobloch and all before he went wacko. Was it Dave Winfield's a big dude, tall, lean.
Mm-hmm.
Funny story about baseball is, so my second uncle is Oil Can Boyd, but Jim Rice and they always think my dad and Jim Rice were brothers. Back then they think all brothers look alike. Got a mustache and stuff. I mean, that's what it was. Hey, two light-skinned brothers that kind of big. You got mustache. You guys must be brothers.
Related.
But yeah, so my dad used to tell me stuff like that. But like Ken Herbeck, another dude. He's a big dude, but he likes to fish and hunt.
I don't know if Boston could have handled your dad and Jim Rice in the same city.
There have been a lot of late nights. And I told you about David Ortiz. That was that was probably the coolest and most pure conversation ever.
Mm-hmm.
He hit 20 home runs, only wanted $1 million from the poll last day. Like, nah, you ain't good enough. He goes to Boston Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
that's all he wanted, and he did not. He did not want to leave Minnesota. Did not want to leave.
Glad he did. As a Royals fan.
Yeah, baseball, man. Just couldn't do it, man. All right, and who's a big dude? I hope he's listening. He got a big old head too. I hope you listen. Darren Erstad. He a big dude. You want to hear a funny story
That's
about
a big old punter.
You want to hear a funny story about Darren Erstad?
I need to.
And this is how cool. This is actually a credit to him. How cool he was. So obviously he was here before I was, and he was a punter. He was a great punter. And I remember my dad.
Big hockey guy too.
Yep, he is. And big shout out to his son Zach too. Zach can play hockey and he can play some golf. I heard too. Well, me and my dad my dad was taking me back to either the dorms or my house, my apartment or whatever. And he's like, dang, he's like, that punter you got. I won't tell you what he called him, but he's like, he's cold blooded, right? He's like, he's fast. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, he's a good athlete, because we did the thing where he got it and he scored. So he was such a good specialist, and I was like, he's a good athlete. I was like, oh, he's gonna probably go to the NFL, kicking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't know he played baseball. I mean, I'm oblivious.
Oh, he didn't just play baseball.
Exactly. Well, I'd heard like he's you just hear like, because Strickland was around and he played professional. Then Strick was on the basketball team, obviously, and then came out. So I just thought like it was one of those things. Kenny Cheatham I used to play AAU against Kenny Cheatham. Kenny Cheatham, full-fledged Power Five basketball player. Hey, I'm talking about cold-blooded too.
Okay, Kenny Cheatham.
We played them in the semifinals. They beat us to go to the champion. Hey, Kenny could play, and this isn't. And when I say Kenny could play, like I'm not just talking about when people think he could play just because he could dunk. He could flat out play basketball.
Hooper.
Yeah, he's a hooper. And so, I hear, oh, yeah, he's a punter or he's a baseball player. I'm like, all right, figures, right?
Yeah.
Because the other guy, I think, was like Tom Steeler or whatever. And he was just a big old goofy dude. Someone was like, he's kind of guilty by association. Well, one thing leads to another. I go into winter conditioning, spring ball. I start to progress. Darren was older, so we conversated, but we didn't. But we won a national championship or whatever. I can't believe this, man. So you'll pick up the Daily Nebraskan, and it was like Darren Erstad goes number 1. And I remember reading it, was like, what the hell?
Wait, that Darren Erstad?
Yeah, and I remember asking somebody, I was like, hey, that dude that was on the football team, he won number 1 in the draft? And I was like, oh, then I was thinking, this is how dumb I was. So Darren, I apologize. I was like, oh, they probably just only picked him because he's such a good athlete. Right? Because that you pick him on potential and all that. I asked my dad, he's like, that boy can hit that baseball, right? And then so I read it. Then I'm thinking like he's off, California or whatever. I shouldn't be saying that. I went to this house party, right? It was over there kind of like by Claremont. I'm walking in, just kicking it, just hanging out. Nobody was drunk. See Erstad. I said, hey, man, you really want number 1? He's like, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I wouldn't. I was like, I looked at him and I was disappointed. Like, you didn't tell me that you were this good at baseball? Like, he was like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's a credit to him. How great he was. He was humble. You know what I'm saying? And never bragged about it. And he was just a regular, still to this day, he's just a regular old dude. Every time I see him, I always enjoy seeing him, man. He's a good dude, man. So, baseball
One-time
players,
guest during On the Block. So shout out Darren for that as well.
But I can guarantee you, Darren couldn't play no basketball. Nope. Darren don't even try to say no way.
He was probably North Dakota's Larry Bird, let's be honest.
And for Darren, I think like he's the type of dude, if you challenge him to a 3-point contest, he would be shooting hoops. He loves to compete.
I view Darren Erstad, the basketball player, Sam Griesel.
No, Darren's just physical. He's going to be like, he's a mix between, he definitely Bill Lambier. He definitely going to just.
Okay, there's the hockey in him. Fair.
After you get done playing him, he like to remember that movie, The Cable Guy?
Oh, yeah.
That's him. Just beat up to all get out. He's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. He's a great dude. I shouldn't say a good dude. He's a great dude. So, with that being said, we're going to get back on track. We're going to take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
You drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Husker fans, this season, Nebraska is celebrating 50 years of Husker women's basketball, and they need you to help celebrate. You've shown up for women's hoops from the start and continue to prove that Nebraska fans really are the best in the nation. On Sunday, January 26th, the Huskers face Big Ten opponent Ohio State, and they're calling on all Husker fans to help pack PBA so they can celebrate 50 years of Husker women's hoops together. Get your tickets now and be a part of this historic season. For event and ticket information, go to huskers.com/tickets.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, old school. Jumping back into trying to get back on time. Got about 6-7 minutes. Text line is open, but then also, since we weren't on yesterday, old school wasn't on yesterday. Because we had Takedown Tuesdays and obviously Teammates Tuesdays. We didn't get to dive into the national championship, Austin. I'm sure you did with Strick yesterday. But more importantly, we didn't. So that's what all that matters, because 4-6 was really what matters in this lineup that we have. I'm just kidding. But as far as the national championship goes, I mean, I felt like Ohio State was the better team. They did, both teams were probably the two teams that were playing the best at that time. But I think Ohio State just had a little bit more edge. I do think Penn State maybe hand delivered the semifinal game to Notre Dame, but I felt like they were probably a little bit more complete team as far as internally, a little bit more toughness. It came down to Leonard versus Drew Aller, and then I felt like Howard was playing so good in the playoffs, and actually he played pretty good all year except for the Michigan game. I felt like that gave him the edge over Riley Leonard, considering that I think indicative of the game. Of the game, it let me know the outcome, even though it was positive for Notre Dame, was that first 10-minute drive. They worked so hard and things had to go so perfect for them to drive 10 minutes and 80 yards. You knew Ohio State was going to adjust. You essentially played your wild card right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Was quarterback run game.
Mhm.
Well, you're not going to win that way unless you
not against that talented of defense. Not like that.
And you not with that defensive line coach, not with that talented defense, and not with that depth of defense. Because what stops quarterback run game? Because quarterback run game is the theory is 11 on 11. Is somebody winning, and they started to win and win and win. Then they started to blitz, and then they were willing to kind of just lay in the weeds until Notre Dame's passing attack went kaput, which it did, allowed them to be more explosive and aggressive. And then Ohio State did what Ohio State always does, which is via Chip Kelly, try to get cute, let him back in the game. A great play by Notre Dame.
Rosebud from Eldwood asked this on the text line. Do you think Ohio State started playing conservatively?
Yeah, I think they, like most teams, you get up by that much, you start to think, overthink it. How can we, win this game? You start thinking about possessions. You start thinking about everything besides of what you just did to get up by 21 points. Just don't play, reckless. Play aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of time left. You want to beat Notre Dame. You want to pound them into the grounds and make them submit. And they were trying to do that on that play. It was a really good play call, but it was a better defensive play by Notre Dame's defender to cause the fumble, which they led the nation in caused fumbles and turnover margin as well as far as their defensive stats. But then, obviously, the catastrophic mistake was 3rd and 11. Yeah, I like it that you want to go 0. I don't really think that's the best thing to do, considering that
it's very Greg Williams move.
Yes, but you hadn't been getting there to consistently enough to go 0 blitz. And then number 2, the worst thing you can do in 0 blitz is not press. You got to press. Essentially it was just route on air, and you don't have any safety help
against that dude.
And
it bailed Ohio State out, because that's what I started watching for Ohio State. Notre Dame gets their 31-15. Okay, good for them. Get a stop, get the ball back, go down and score. Greathouse kind of balled out for a couple drives there. It's like, okay, there's 4 minutes left. Can Ohio State go into 4-minute drive mode? Because they got a little conservative there in the start of the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. And they're really going to give Notre Dame a chance to tie this. That's really how I thought that was going to go, because they didn't give the ball to Henderson. They didn't give the ball to Judkins. It was sprint left, sprint right, sprint left with Howard.
It was very conservative. It was almost playing not to lose instead of playing to win. You ran, Howard on like 2 or 3, two quarterback run plays up the middle. Nothing even extravagant. You were trying to just bleed the clock. And then on the worst thing of it, if that's what you're...
when they had 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning left.
Right, but
that's an eternity.
But even if that was what you were trying to do, on the 3rd down play, you snapped it with 15 seconds left. So you just defeated the purpose of what you did the first 2 plays. Then on top of it, I said this, Marcus Freeman made a catastrophic mistake too. When you see another team being that conservative, you got to take your first time out with 4 minutes left. You got to actually go backwards. Instead of saving them, burn them. So you're trying to get 2 possessions, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to be chucking and ducking,
right?
To get that second score. And then you started to let too much time go off. But then Ohio State lets you get back in the game. At the end of the day, the better team won. It was a good valiant effort by Notre Dame. But then also, I think it's a credit to those 2 teams that obviously Ohio State said it. The only thing that would make the season successful is to win a national championship. They earned it. And then for Notre Dame to come back from losing to Northern Illinois and continue along the process of being independent validated some of their egotistical thoughts of being independent. And that's honestly got truth. And also it lets you know Marcus Freeman has this team at a different level than Brian Kelly if you evaluated it right now. Now, longevity will tell you, but I think you're going to see a consistent and more competitive Notre Dame in these type of big games.
And that's where I think we can credit both coaches, because I think Ohio State did learn from Michigan, right? It wasn't pretty at the end, but they did find a way to make that one last play late to put it away. And other Notre Dame teams, that balloons to a 40-point game.
Yeah,
It doesn't get back to 31-23. I don't believe that at all. And then, of course, it ends a 2-possession game. But we saw growth from both these programs this year, even in just the last month and a half of the season, let alone from week 1 to the end of the season.
Yeah, and that's what you get, when you have a lot of the nucleus of your team is returning. So it's not a big transfer portal type of team. And I think these two teams and these two coaches and the staffs probably that's what gave them the edge over all these other teams. Now, obviously, Penn State is a lot of the same. As you see, they were able to re-up some of those guys. But when you're thinking of Texas and you're thinking of even the Ole Misses and the Alabamas that really hit the portal hard, you don't have that type of playing for a bigger purpose. And then the want to, and obviously intestinal fortitude to continue along the path of actually getting better and actually keep playing this late in the season. Because on a team that had a lot of portal guys, and they were at that point and say they lost to Michigan, and you would have seen a lot of guys declare and decide to shut it down, even if they were there just physically. So, Ohio State, it took them a little while to get going. I think it was more or less just Chip Kelly getting used to actually coaching and calling plays in the Big Ten and seeing the ramifications of what it's like to be at a place like Ohio State, because that's the biggest job that he's had as far as a coordinator goes. I think once they caught rhythm and they actually started to believe in it, we can be that aggressive, and they really started to see that their defense actually was dominant, which I think they were more dominant this year, even though they were good stat-wise last year. I felt like the defense wasn't as edgy. Now, I think when you add in Caleb Downs, who's a superior athlete and a great football player and a very competitive person, it really eliminates any type of miscues you could have at the second level, which they lost a lot from Tommy Eichenberg, going to the pros. So it worked out for, everybody. And I'm sure, when you get to the pinnacle like that and lose, it probably, stings a little bit. But I think Notre Dame knows that they're a lot closer than farther versus being a fake closer than farther when Brian Kelly was there. I think when Brian Kelly was there, and this is nothing against Brian Kelly, I felt like they were coaching so hard not to get blown out that year, I think, against Clemson or whoever it was, or maybe Ohio State, where they kept it close and it really wasn't close, but it looked like it. Like, we can show you on paper we were closer than getting shellacked, when actually they really weren't. Whereas this, 11-point loss doesn't look as bad, considering that you never felt like Notre Dame was going to lay down.
Right.
And they kept making plays. And so they probably have, before we, go into break, I would argue that they probably are kicking themselves that they weren't a little bit more aggressive in the passing game.
Sure. Oh, I believe it.
Because when they needed to, they looked pretty efficient.
Not bad.
And so, I think also there's a cumulative hits on Riley Leonard from that first drive in that first half, wore him out later on in the game.
That's kind of got to be the legacy drive, more so than, like you said, playing the wild card that early, right? If he's your best player on offense, which I don't think he was, but they chose to feature him, you got to have it. You got to show it enough to keep him honest. But a drive like that, 18 plays over almost 10 minutes, that's how legends are made. You don't make legends in the first quarter, though.
Yeah, and he was worn out.
Yeah.
He was worn out. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break. Come back. We got some NBA news, and then we'll jump into some NFL. We got my man Aaron Glenn. I think he's going to Gotham City. Jags have decided to change course with their GM. I think the owner told you, hey, you here for a short time, buddy. Your time is up and is up today. Anyways, we'll take a quick break. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Koppel, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at koppelcars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Koppel. So please stop on in or visit us at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com. Or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of snow showers throughout the day. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy and a high near 38. Tonight, a slight chance of snow early, otherwise partly cloudy with a low near 11. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies and a light breeze. High near 26. The meteorologist count like 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Limitless Mail has redefined the little blue pill with our new ED trochees that melt in your mouth, delivering faster results so you can be spontaneous again. Once you try the Limitless Mail trochee, you won't go back to the little blue pill. Our trochees go right to the source through your bloodstream, leading to quicker, harder results. To experience the difference for yourself and your partner, schedule a free consult with the men's health experts at limitlessmail.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 29th is $2 off bacon, $2 off summer sausage, and 20% off on crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. Quick segment here. Then we'll get back to the 5 o'clock hour. Get back on time. Updated news. Al Golden, the defensive coordinator that we were just talking about from Notre Dame, his defense played excellent all year, has decided to go to the Cincinnati Bengals to be the D coordinator to replace your boy Lou that was going to Indy. So it's all Austin's fault for you Notre Damers, and doubt there's many of them in Lincoln besides Nick. But that's some news. And then for NBA news, I know you know it's not a big NBA city as far as Lincoln goes and the updates, but I'm sure if you watch any sports channel, you've heard about the saga with Jimmy Butler. He is suspended once again, and it's gonna get to what he's trying to do. And the reason why I know this or familiar with it is when he was with the Timberwolves. So what this modern day athlete does is they have enough power and make enough money, and he's still a really good player, is that you can act crazy and get suspended to the point that where they'll just get rid of you, and they will take less to get you out of there. And that's what he's trying to do. But he's playing poker against the guy that plays the best hand of poker and is willing to go down swinging. and that's Pat Riley. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes because Pat Riley and the Miami Heat have a lot of credibility. Jimmy Butler is at the point of his career of like Terrell Owens football wise, maybe Rasheed Wallace and those type of players where your act is less tolerable as your skills start to diminish. We'll see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, I can see Pat Riley sending him off to Portland.
Really?
Just to be petty.
Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny.
Why would Pat Riley send you to Phoenix, where you want to go? Well, first of all,
if it benefits him, he still will.
If it benefits, and Phoenix just got a lot of first-round picks yesterday, and you saw that he wore. You saw that trade, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you saw Jimmy Butler wear the Phoenix colorway shoes.
Oh yeah. Intentional.
Yeah, it's you're in a. When he gets probably about my age and retired, probably ain't worth it.
I saw an interesting framework for this trade that ends up with Jimmy in Phoenix, Zach LaVine in Milwaukee, and Brad Beal in Chicago.
I like. I think everybody.
That's
could
interesting.
Win. Everybody could win with that. Bradley Beal with ball driving and kicking to him.
Woo.
Yeah, I like that for Bradley Beal.
Woo.
I think Bradley Beal going to Phoenix. He's the one that's taking. It never was going to work.
No, because it's too much overlap with him and Booker.
Yeah,
and Booker's the franchise guy.
Exactly. It was a stupid trade.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we'll take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We'll talk a little Huskers portal. I think they have about till next week, right? The window for to get maybe another player or two. But then more importantly, we'll look at some of the guys that they had that are going into the draft, like Ty Robinson's and Nash, and project with them. And then obviously Mel Kiper has his first mock draft out, so we'll look at that. And then obviously we'll dive into Husker basketball that plays late night against USC. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. See Home Club for details.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village. This
is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 29th is $2 off bacon, $2 off summer sausage, and 20% off on crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School. We are brought to you by the Mercado Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andrea-Matt, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. A lot going on. Obviously, we'll dive into some football so we can talk about the Husker, solve the problems for Fred before he goes. We're going to call Fred on three-way. Is three-way even a thing anymore? I think
you can do multiple different phones.
Yeah,
on
you
a
can do like
FaceTime.
4, right? Yeah,
I think so.
We'll call three-way. Anyway, that was a big deal back in the day. Hold on. Don't hang up. You know what I mean? But before that, we'll talk about some Husker news. Obviously, we got Pritchett, the big tackle, and school has officially started. So everybody's worried about who we have and who we don't have. And the New Mexico State tackle decided to go to University of Kentucky, oddly enough, which is weird. And so everybody's worried about, Ohio State had I think it's Fitzgerald, their tackle, came or went in the portal. So everybody thinks, well, just because he was on that team, we need to go get him. And sometimes you can just overlook maybe the guys that maybe they have quiet confidence in on their team, and in particular, Gunnar Gatula. So if it was me, I'm not saying as a coach, I'm saying if I was a player, and if I'm Gunnar Gatula, let's just a pretty safe assumption that Pritchard's going to start. I'm assuming that right tackle, right? Because I think Pete was supposed to be a left tackle, a young man from that's at Kentucky now. So last left tackle that started here was 77. That's how I'm preparing. And I don't know Gunnar. I don't have any type of direct connection to him. But if I would talk to him, I would have told him when the season ended, get healthy and refreshed. I'm going straight back to work. I would be a different Gunnar Gatula moving forward, assuming there's nobody out there that they're going to come in and essentially their contract is going to guarantee them the first right, the first rights to starting. Mm-hmm. Oh no, it'd be hella high water before you get me on that lineup.
You're not going to find many starters in the portal now, and especially after the spring window.
Well, let's check.
Especially on the offensive line, right? Think about what Pete got with some of the Michigan guys that have transferred have gotten. Isaiah World guy as well. They're not available all that often, and they're not cheap. I wouldn't be shocked to see Nebraska give Pritchett a shot on the left side.
Okay. I'll play right then. That's
fine. Either way, you're walking around like you're one of the starting tackles, and maybe they don't mess with it. They keep Pritchett on the right because he had some pretty good success there at Alabama. So hey, keep the guy comfortable. That's all fine. So, yeah, if you're Gunnar Gatula, how do you walk that fine line of carrying yourself like the starting left tackle at Nebraska, but staying motivated, not coasting, right? Just because it's going to be hard for them to find someone. There are other guys on the roster who want to take your spot, right? Just because you started the last few games last year doesn't mean you've made it. You got to get better. You got to be a difference maker, and let us know your name for a good reason, not just, oh, yeah, he filled in admirably, and that's the peak of Gunnar Gatula's career.
Oh, Austin, I mean, I'm not. How I'm walking around? Oh, it's on.
Yeah, that's
on.
what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I'm never going to forget that you were trying to replace me.
There's that.
No, I'm never going to forget that. I can forgive you. And actually, I got to respect it, right? Because ultimately, you got to take care of business. And so it's a business now. And so I'm thinking my whole mindset is different. I'm looking at right here at the portal, right? Isaiah World was on campus. Now, you get, as much as everybody's up in arms that Nebraska wasn't able to get every single top player out there, they at least came to campus. Now, I don't know if they were doing it to kind of up the juice to other places, but I know that Nebraska was definitely truly in the mix for Isaiah World and Biale Famo. I know I just butchered his name. Yeah, because, this side note, I heard Nick Sainer talking about, he's all on Kirk Herb Street, you know what, just swinging from the trees on Kirk Herb Street and all this stuff and talking about he has guys that don't pronounce the word. Well, Nick, let me let you know something, Nick, because I know he's in baseball right now. So I just want everybody to know that, look, Nick, it's a new age. There's going to be slang on TV. There's going to be more relaxed. So you at Pius the 10th, right? Or Pius X, that's what they want, right? Pius X, need to get with it. No, I'm just kidding. So then they get Elijah Pritchard, who, according to this, is the number 4 tackle.
Pretty good.
Then you have your guy like dudes I never heard of, Monroe Mills, Phillip Daniels, who I do know. I actually not played against his dad. His dad was in the NFL for a long time. Daniel King, who went to North Carolina. Bill Belichick came by the way of Troy, right? So you can find guys everywhere. Mason Murphy went from USC, who we saw up close and personal, to Auburn. Dang, Auburn got both of them. Auburn said we locking it down. 6'7", 333. And 6'5", 315. They're gonna be trying to move some people.
Hey.
Auburn said we back. Well, then also let's not forget, Kentucky got 2 tackles too. They got Alex Warschlander from Bowling Green, and then they just got your boy Pete, Shize Pete. So like when you go and I'm looking at all these guys here, and like you said, where could you go and get him another tackle? If I'm Gunnar Gatula, I'm looking at the same thing I'm looking at. Nowhere. Not better than this. Because, yes, you just because you get a guy out of the portal doesn't maybe mean that he's better than what you got. So what if I'm Gunnar Gatula, my approach is this, and George Fitzpatrick is number 57 at the offensive tackle position, 6'6", 313. That's the only guy in the top up that hasn't – now that's because he just played a national championship. That doesn't have a place to go, and we'll see where he ends up. But if I'm Gunnar Gatula, I'm looking at it like doesn't matter what position that you put me at, I'm going to win it. Right tackle or left tackle. If you want Pritchard at left tackle, I'll go to right. If you want him at right tackle, I'll just keep locking down left. But I got to get better. I can't. Yeah. The mindset has to change, and I'm not saying this is actually for any player that's on this roster. That's actually, matter of fact, including the new guys. The mindset cannot be I'm grandfathered in or I'm circumstanced into a starting spot, so that means I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to get out of there. This is 4th and 1. You're not literally do or die, but this is a different mindset right now. If you want to get to where everybody says they want to get to,
and I think Gunnar Gatula has a couple good role models on that line of what that looks like. Right, Justin Evans wasn't a starter until someone went down with an injury. He steps into the lineup. He's been in there pretty much ever since. Henry Lutovsky, think about his journey, right? A guy from the Midwest that Nebraska was pretty high on. Didn't really see the field much at all. And then he's kind of in a battle for his position there at right guard. He's in the lineup. He's out of the lineup, kind of getting moved around. And then this last year finally has an opportunity, takes advantage of it. I can see a lot of that for Gunnar Gatula as well. Like, he wasn't expected to be on the field this year.
No.
He wasn't the first string left tackle, wasn't the second string left tackle. He was option number 3.
Yeah.
He was only thrown into the fire because they didn't have any options. So remember where you came from, remember your timeline, and then try to accelerate it.
Yeah, I mean, because just because they didn't have confidence in you in the beginning, they had to have some to keep you out there and starting, and you did some good things, but then also realize you have to get better as everybody else. He's no different than Dylan. He's no different than Emmett. He's no different than all the receivers came in. He's no different than any tight end that we have. He's no different than anybody on defense. He's no different than Vincent Shavers. And when you think about it, you got to get better and you got to prove yourself, because all the players that we're talking about, and obviously Dylan started every game, so Dylan's a little bit farther along the path, but this path. But just think about it. All those players, whether it's Barney, and even though Barney played a big factor in all the games, but still to do it at the magnitude that you need and want and say, and we expect you to in year 2 and 3 moving forward, and in particular year 2, everybody's in the same position. Everybody has to get tons better. Everybody has to get bigger, faster, and stronger, and everybody has to have a different mentality. Because if you think you're going to have this, and I'm not saying that they do, but if you have the same mentality as you had the year before, then you're going to get at the maximum the same results and maybe less than, and then you're going to live with a lot of regret. You have to amp it up.
Yeah.
You have to get better. You have to look at yourself on tape and see where you can get better.
Because what you did this year was 6-6. That's not going to be enough.
But it's in little bits and pieces. You got thrown in there and you admirably stepped in. Now you are a starter. Now, if I'm a defensive line coach, I'm actually game planning for you. So it's a totally different mindset. You have to essentially train against the what if, or what are my weaknesses. And then you got to remedy those. So you're constantly, now you're in you're chasing the ghost mode that you're not going to catch. And that's different. Where you were wanting to go from third string, or you went from third string to second. Okay, I might get in on field goal, in extra point. Well, Turner goes down, I'm in.
Game time.
Right. So that was the peak. I just want to get on the field. I want to play. And maybe it would have been just like in mop-up duty. Now you're starting. Everybody got to get better. It's even as simple as Lutovsky had done. He was injured or hurt, and then he stepped in, got the chance. Obviously when Mazuka had his situation, but then he started to prepare well and started to play well. Well, then you played at a pretty high level, right? And you probably wanted some, like, maybe individual accolades. Well, okay. Well, then prove it. Prove it. Show me again. Because anybody can do it like one or a couple times. Can you do it long term? Because if you continue along that process to continue to prove yourself and raise expectations and then meet them and then raise them again and then meet them, well, then that's just going to go through your whole locker room, and everybody's going to step up, because you will not want anybody else to not prepare or be as focused or driven and more importantly gets committed than you, because then it will anger you, and then that will be the good peer pressure.
And that's where, I think there's another example in that room, and it's maybe not the best comparison, so stop me if I'm saying something insensitive or wrong, but Teddy Prohaska, right? Anointed as the next answer at left tackle, had a game and a half of good play, maybe a few games. And then, of course, is the injuries with Teddy, more so than anything performance-related. And wish the best for him as he recovers and tries to figure out, what's next for him in or out of football. But how many guys, Dave, we've seen come through Nebraska, had a good game, a good month, maybe even a good season, and then plateau and not get better.
It's
and
hard.
if you're not getting better individually, regardless of if you're, the starting quarterback or the 18th string, left cornerback, whatever you are on the roster, if you're not individually getting better, how is the team supposed to get better, right? That's how the team gets better, is all these individuals get better alongside one another.
Yeah, you don't want to be like left behind, or everybody's starting to progress and you kind of stay pat and you're not able. That's where the consistency comes from. Because in order to get better overall, you'll be putting in consistent work day in and day out. And so that's a hard thing for any player to do, let alone a young player, or a young player as far as playing time on the field, where you get some success and you constantly go back to that. You constantly think, and nobody wants to think about the time that you got beaten one-on-one coverage,
right?
But you have to embrace it. But that's got to be your driving force, not the pats on the back, but the side eyes that you were getting when you messed up or busted a coverage, or better yet, you want to be a dominant player. You don't want to be just a guy. You don't want to blend in. You don't want to be you don't want to. I mean, when I say this, when you're an offensive lineman, you want to blend in because you don't want to stick out because you're so bad. But you don't want to be just a guy where it's like, I can put anybody in there and just be average.
And that's, I think, the next step of growth for Gunnar Gatula that we'll start to see here throughout spring ball. And hopefully that carries over, right? When you think about that mindset shift, that mentality shift, I can understand the human reaction of Gunnar Gatula of getting thrown in there for his first action, even in practice, right? I'm going up against Ty Robinson quite a bit of the time, Jamari Butler here and there, Prince William Monmiel and guys like that have pretty good pedigrees and have made some plays in college. Now, who's coming in? Probably going to be Williams Nwarni is the guy that's going to go up against Gunnar Gatula quite a bit in practice. Cam Lenhart, again, maybe on that side of the line. Other guys I don't want to discount. But I think for Gunnar Gatula, too, if you're not lining up against NFL draft pick Ty Robinson every day, your mindset, especially with another year of seasoning, can go from how do I hold my own, how do I do my job, to how do I dominate the guy across from me? Because I've had a year of reps. I'm confident in my abilities. I'm bigger, faster, stronger, older. Now I'm setting the terms of engagement instead of the guy across from me.
Yeah, man, you can take it and run with it, man, where you got to think you could, really lay a foundation for you at left tackle for the next 2 years at least, And so there's a difference between thinking and knowing, and, going through the motions or going through a play, thinking that you did it well versus knowing it. And then you're working on the little intricacies to get better. So it's going to be interesting to see, the approach, but then also it's full competition mode. And yeah, I know there's some guys that probably obviously got, nice little, paychecks and stuff like that. But ultimately, you're battling yourself in this day and age of 105. You can't get comfortable. No. It used to be in the Big Ten, once you sign, and you're on scholarship, it's 3 or 4 years. It could be as little as 3 or 4 months. You come here and you act like a knucklehead. You'd be like old buddy from Washington, look back in the portal and trying to figure out what the next step is. And so more competition, the better. But then also it's going to really, show where guys can really, really step up. And you know what? You might get some diamonds in the rough. You like to have, ideally, I think Nebraska would like to get to where they're at a place where legitimately they're like Ohio State, where you want to retain your guys, you're really good players, not overpay them. I mean, obviously, if you have to step up and match an offer, but have guys that are believing what you're doing, understanding the big picture, understanding that they potentially could not only make money, obviously, here, in which they obviously always get well compensated, but then also you're setting the foundation for the future, that when you win, everybody wins. And that's one thing that's really, really interesting. And this is why I always caution the fans, and this is from personal experience, and I remember learning this, and says, winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. You can dive into that. We could be on here for 4 hours talking about it. And really, what I'm saying is when you focus on your business and winning, you're not worrying about how Indiana was able to bring 17 guys, because we've seen the flip side of Mel Tucker in the second year after his transfer portal year led to his downfall, which obviously, wasn't, particularly, apples to apples, but it wasn't the same transfer portal class.
Right.
So, and heck, you could even look on the opposite side. I would say take out Travis Hunter, Shador, Shiloh, in Horn up there in Colorado. Their first year of transfer portal class wasn't as good as this last year, because they got 2 NFL receivers and some really good, actually legitimate offensive linemen in the second year for Dion and the staff up there. So, which led to more on the field success, probably a difference in mentality and the learning experience in that first year. So, anyways, the next thing we got here is we'll flip to the NFL. We got playoffs, and we'll dive into it for more on Thursday and Friday. But my man Mel Kiper came out with his first mock draft, and we got the news that Fedoni's going to be down at the Senior Bowl. I think Ty Robinson's going to be at the Senior Bowl. We got a host of other guys at different bowl games. I think they're both in the same boat. I think obviously Ty, I think is going to be able to go pretty decently high based on defensive line. In Ty's skill set will go well. I think he'll test out well. 6'6" and 300-something pounds. He's going to be strong as an ox. And I'm sure he'll show well down at the Senior Bowl. And then on the flip side, the look test, you got Fedoni, and it's a good chance for him to go down there in a neutral environment and really, really showcase his skills and make some money. I mean, I know he can catch. I would say I think he can catch decently. But if you show the ability to run routes and really show that you're a willing blocker, you'll see him start to, get onto some draft boards, because I think he's 2 years since he's had any type of really, significant injury. So that won't hold him back. But so 2 guys to keep an eye on as far as the draft goes. Now to this. Mel Kiper. You remember when the GM for the Colts said, "Who the hell is Mel Kiper?"
Who the hell is Mel Kiper? Oh yeah,
Mel Kiper. Well, Mel Kiper's the dude that's been doing the draft forever. I'm not a big fan of Mel Kiper. He tried to say that Corey Moore was going to come and start over me.
Got him.
Didn't happen, Mel. But
aren't you grateful to him for that?
Am I grateful for him?
Yeah. He motivated you.
Really
He's a hater. You can point him out in your Hall of Fame speech.
I ain't going to that Hall of Fame. I was not really worried about it, because I knew Corey was strictly a pass rusher, but that just lets you know. I will tell you this about the draft. That's to let you know how lazy he was. Now they were trying to put him in a position, but he didn't have the experience. And I'd played. I was fine. Now I was motivated by it, but I didn't lose any sleep, because I was very secure in what I was doing. But interesting here though, Tennessee Titans, who has a new GM, said they would not pass up on drafting a franchise quarterback, a generational talent. Mel Kiper got Cam Ward going number 1.
Woo!
I don't know if he's generational now. He cold-blooded.
Mm-hmm.
Will Levis is not too happy. Will Levis, I'm gonna tell you one thing about Will Levis.
Mr. Mayonnaise.
Will Levis, man. If there ever was a bro quarterback, it's him.
Mr. Mayo in my coffee.
Mayo in my coffee.
Banana with the peel.
Yeah, and then he had the girl that he was with and that situation, and then his reaction to get drafted. I mean, his reaction to, I mean, it was sus. He
shaky.
He was sus. He was suspect. And then he had some success. His big thing was that he looked like all he does is arm curls. He got big old arms and stuff. Hadn't led to any accuracy. And Cam Ward's probably going to come in there and be the day 1 starter.
How about that?
And speaking of blending in,
who's Cam Ward's number 1 NFL comp? Who does he remind you of in his play style?
I would say Pocket Hercules, but I would say Caleb Williams.
I like it. I think Kyler's a little more mobile in terms of design quarterback runs.
Yeah, but I think Cam Ward's a little bit more mentally tough than Caleb Williams. I think he has better. I think he has better true leadership skills.
Okay.
That's just my feeling, and I just think
he gets the Miami seal of approval. That's why, right?
Yeah, If he did it down there, you could do it anywhere. But I just think that from where he came,
Mm-hmm.
Incarnate Word, to Washington State, to Miami, everywhere he's been, he's done it.
And I think he's beat the system quarterback allegations.
Right. And he's gotten better. And everywhere he's been, he's elevated the program. That lets me know he can go somewhere and bring guys along. He's all business when it comes to football. Football's first in his life, and that's what you want as a quarterback. And then also, I think he has a never give up. I think you're never out of a game with him.
Oh yeah, I mean, how big was Miami down in some of these games?
Yeah, which is
different.
That's the reason why they got a new defensive coordinator. Number 2 is Travis Hunter going to Cleveland. I think that's a great place for Travis.
Put him at quarterback.
You can put him at quarterback, running back, whatever you want. But I think it's good for Cleveland to get a good, obviously a great player, a phenomenal locker room guy, because he doesn't want to do anything besides play football. And I think he's very marketable, which you already seen.
Cool. Yeah.
So I think so then that takes the whole Deshaun Watson thing and any other thing that they do in quarterback, or if they do some sort of trade, that'd be great. And I'm gonna tell you who I would trade for if it was Cleveland. Russell.
Interesting.
Russell or Justin Fields. Actually, I'd probably.
Well, Fields is a free agent.
I would try to get Justin Fields. Local kid, has some ties.
Yeah.
You could probably pay him decently amount, and I would have Jameis.
Yeah.
And then I would let the insurance company take care of Deshaun Watson.
Have Ryan Day on speed dial if you have anything about Justin Fields or something.
Well, Stefanski losing. Ryan, hey, you remember how they disrespected you when you lost to Michigan? We love you up here.
We do.
Yeah. So I mean,
I could see it.
And then number 3, which I think Dion would let this happen, is Shedeur Sanders going to the Giants, because no matter how bad they are first class in ownership.
Yeah.
And they always have been.
Joe Shane aside.
Yeah. Yeah. And he'll be gone by the time he gets there, or by the time, Shedeur starts to play. He probably won't. He'll probably start day one. But Joe Shane would probably Joe Shane will get some job security if he drafts him. See? I actually did it. He'd probably say, ask his son. Just ask your 13-year-old kid.
Should I draft Shedeur or should I not?
Well, his kid told him to draft Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Listen to your kid.
Why not?
Well, if you're Woody Johnson, it don't work. Anyways. So, and then
that's the same market too.
And you're supposed to be the uppity ones, the smarter ones. Number 4, we'll just do top 5, is New England taking Abdul Carter, which I think works great with Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
And then number 5, this dude right here essentially won the game, Michigan defensive tackle, Mason Grant. He's a dude.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. Also, before we go to break, I want to give a shout out to my man, Aaron Glenn.
How about
Aaron
that?
Glenn is going to be the Jets head coach. I thought he was going to be the Saints head coach. Aaron Glenn is a first-class dude. Competitive. Listen, all of 5'9", tough, hold you accountable. He was one of the only – well, actually, I'm going to tell you this. He's the only DB. Well, Antoine Winfield didn't say anything. So Aaron Glenn is the only DB that could come in and command a room and hold defensive line accountable. When we were in a defensive meeting and we had one in particular high-priced defensive tackle that was out of shape and it was lazy. When I tell you Aaron Glenn kicked all the coaches out and gave him the business and challenged that man, I was like, yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. I run through a wall for Aaron Glenn. That dude loves football. He knows football. He's a great communicator. He will leave no stone unturned, man. And he's a tough-minded dude, man. And to play that long and to be that successful, and also what he does off the field for a lot of people too is pretty special. He was a big influence on me. I was able to watch him from afar. He's a funny dude too. He'll crack on you too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We're gonna take a quick break. Come back. I'll tell you a funny story about Aaron Glenn. When me and this dude was fighting during the game, and he was just laughing at me the whole time, and told me he told me I need to grow. He's like, well, I'll tell you right now. I was getting into it with this guy, Kevin. His name is Kevin Fournier, guard from Atlanta. Me and him it was a whole half.
Ooh.
He came up to me at halftime. I was eating these oranges and stuff. He's like, he slapped it out. He slapped the orange out of my hand, right? He's like, you need to grow up. He's like, you need to grow. He's like, you acting like a little boy right now. And I was like, what? He's like, I've been watching you for 2 quarters. He's like, grow up. You're supposed to be a leader. And then bounce. And I was like, all right, I'll get it together. Anyways, well, we need to get together to get the break. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 29th is $2 off bacon, $2 off summer sausage, and 20% off on crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, 4-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Against Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Against Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. See Home Club for details.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys, you'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman? That was we'll table that Aaron Glenn story. Aaron was a good dude. I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for him to get a chance, and he's done it the right way, and got a ton of respect for him. I have to go out there and check him out in Gotham City. He better not try big time,
He wouldn't dare. He wouldn't do that to you.
No, I'll roll up on it a little butt.
What you do is you use your Giants connections there. Get you up there.
No, I'm
just happen to swing by.
I'm a stalker call over there.
Okay.
He's cool though. Once he got to Detroit, we exchanged some texts. He's a good dude. He's a good dude, man. So, the NFL draft coming up, man. It's a unique time in some of these guys that used to play at Nebraska's life, and they'll never forget it. It's a lot of I'm looking out the window now. It's a lot of wondering what if. And as much as you know that you were good and kind of comfortable here, but definitely motivated to get to the point that you're at some of these all-star games and stuff like that, you still wonder because you're always like, well, I know I'm good, but do they really respect my game? And how many other defensive tackles or whatever linebackers are out there? So you got to make sure that you always just continue to focus, and every day is a work day. And it's not just one workout a day, it's 2-3 workouts a day. It's constantly just staying focused on putting the best foot forward to get in front of all these GMs and all that, and hopefully your name gets called. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs. They're going to tell you that you ain't good more times than they tell you that you're good. It's the weirdest thing.
They like you. They're going to pick you. They're going to draft you, but they're not that good.
They focus on everything that you can't do. There's only a few teams that focus on what you can do. And sometimes they just draft guys because they need a particular position. And they feel like they have to spend a first-round pick on it. Or they don't think anybody in the second and third rounds are worthy of waiting for it. And that's how you see a lot of busts.
Okay, GM Jay Foreman, obviously team-by-team basis. Let's just put you in charge of, say, the Houston Texans for the next year.
Offensive lineman.
Guys, but what traits are you looking for? Your top 3 traits, regardless of position.
You know who I'm taking if I'm
What
Houston?
traits? What are you looking for?
I'm taking Will Campbell. I like it because he's nasty.
Southern boy.
He's got an attitude. He has position versatility. We got our left tackle in Tunzel. I feel good decently about our center. He could start out at right tackle for me because they say his arms are too short, which is stupid, but he's got quick feet. But then also he has position versatility. In a year or two, we can put him in at guard, and he can run, plays a good leverage, and he comes from LSU, which generally has pretty tough offensive linemen. So I want that. I want a guy with an attitude.
Okay, second round. Get CJ another weapon, go somewhere.
I would say another receiver. I'm always going to help CJ out. I'm going to get another receiver. So I like Collins. I like Dell, but he's probably might not be back. Now,
you like Schultz?
I like Schultz. And I don't think, and if say if we can trade up and get Loveland, I'm taking him.
Interesting.
I'm taking him.
Okay.
I like him. And now, I don't know if maybe first round, but I'm taking him high second round. I like him, but I want another receiver. Then I want a tight end, and then I'm going back to another lineman. I like our defense. I like our youth, our depth on defense. Then I'm going to try to maybe trade up from the lower rounds to get more like mid-round draft picks, and that's where I'm trying to be done with our draft by the 5th round. I'll trade a future 5th round pick or a 6th round pick or multiple picks to get some guys that I might like on the defensive end. I'm trying to accumulate young, big, talent in the interior line, and especially on the offensive line. I am protecting my franchise quarterback. I have a franchise defensive end. I have a franchise offseason in Hunter, Danielle Hunter, as far as like a defensive end. We got our end state. We have a really good defensive tackle group. We got young and fast and under good contract linebackers. We got Stingley as a number one corner. We feel great with our safety play because they play multiple safeties. Yeah. I like our defense, and we have a defensive head coach. I'm definitely going interior or going offensive line.
That's all good for 15 out of 17 games a year.
That's fine. We'll still win the South again. You know you ain't beating us, Austin. I mean, you might as well just go.
We'll see about that.
It's all good, man.
You weren't happy when you heard Lou Anarumo was coming to Indy.
I was not.
You weren't thrilled,
and I'm not.
That
and
tells
I'm,
me all
and
I
I'm
need to
not.
know.
And I'm not excited that they're actually helping out Anthony Richardson, according to Mel Kiper.
That's your other boy, Josh Allen, his coach, helping out.
Yeah. That's
you have him to blame.
No, we're good. We're good. But just because Anthony Richardson is going to see Mr. Miyagi doesn't mean that he's going to get the same results. He's going to get better.
He'll get better results.
He's going to be better. But
did you see the Bills have only turned the ball over on 4.2 of their possessions
why
this
are you
year?
jinxing us?
Because it's incredible.
Because that's who we are.
Think about Josh Allen's reputation coming out of college,
That's
and then
a
they
long
had the
time
fewest turnovers in the NFL. Think about that transformation.
I know.
It's incredible.
Because
That's all I'm trying to say.
That's cyber. He's coming.
Yeah.
He's coming to Kansas City in a few days to kick that butt. You about to see something. I'm telling you, Kansas City fans, this ain't the Josh Allen from last year. You getting this dude this year. This isn't Lamar Jackson that sphincters gets tight. Oh, no. He's coming with a purpose, and he's bringing his boys with him, too.
We've had the Lamar conversation a few times, but I do think it is telling that the conversation out of these locker rooms is we will let Lamar beat us, but take away Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
That is the biggest statement you can make about a team like Baltimore.
I sat there and talked to DP, told him, ain't nobody scared of Derrick Henry in the playoffs. That ain't going to work. It ain't going to work, man. It's not. It's not happening. And if I'm the Commanders, I'm saying the same thing.
Jalen Hurts go beat us.
Yep. Saying the same thing. Because that's how you have to win in the league. That's why the Josh Allens, and then also in the regular season, which I don't think Lamar, I think it was more, again, the offensive coordinator. You got to run the football. Derrick Henry started to get cranked up. But I'm going to tell you this. Just kind of like you saw with a little bit of Ohio State and stuff. These offensive coordinators just can't do it. They can't. They're just
can't help themselves, can they?
No, they're on the edge of their seat. Watch
Here we go.
Watch this.
I got this.
Hey, watch this play.
They'll never see it coming.
They are the ice. I call it the ice cream type of mentality. They just want instant gratification. I want a steak. I want to have a slow process with it. And so, according to Mel Kiper, back to your Colts, he's going to get Tyler Warren. That's a problem.
I don't hate that one bit.
That's a problem. He is a problem.
He is very good.
But they won't throw it to him anyway.
Well, he can take over at quarterback for Anthony Richardson.
I mean, he's 6'6", 260 and can run. He's a good prospect. So, I mean, it's, the draft is just, it's a unique thing, man. And it's I'm happy for all these guys. You're going to miss them. Puts a lot of pressure on some of the guys like Elijah Judy and guys like that got to step up. Keona Davis and everybody like that were able to go in or went in the portal and came back very, quickly. The time is now, man. I mean, I think we're talking about two different things. We're talking about guys you lose to the draft, and it doesn't matter if you get drafted or if you have a guy like Isaac Gifford that might be like a late round draft choice, but he has great leadership skills. Like, you're not just losing the player, you're losing the person. And that's just as important as the tackles and the tackle like Nash and those guys. The consistency, the ability to know when they ran out on the field, you knew what to expect and we knew what you're going to get. That's what Ohio State had. That's what, Notre Dame had. That's what Nebraska had at times. And so when you have to replace that, that's not an easy order. That's not just getting on the internet and saying, okay, I want this guy out of the portal, and you're kind of speed dating and overpaying, paying for him to get here. Now you have to become a Husker, even if you're only here for a season. And it takes a unique mindset to do that. Now you have to go from being a Husker, now you're a former Husker, to a 49er. Excuse me, a Cowboy, a Dolphin, or whatever it is, like that.
Because you will get cut if you're not like that.
Because
you don't have time to ease into it.
Because if you keep thinking about college You will be back in college,
Hmm.
but you won't be playing at college.
Enjoy that GA.
You will be training to get the next tryout and stuff like that. You have to train. Like, it's a different mindset, and sometimes it's hard for guys because the easy thing for athletes to do, and we talk about having little success to that, to having long-term success, is you just keep going back to your comfort zone. And it's no different than a guy talking about, I was a 4 or 5-star recruit out of high school. Nobody cares.
And
right, because whoever you're playing against, they ain't worried. Well, we ain't gonna itch. Nobody cares.
Scary.
Yeah, so
cool,
I mean,
tough guy.
It's a for these guys, and also for Nebraska as well, it's a transition from a known product to now we're really actually getting into unknown territories now. This is kind of like a new version of Nebraska right now, even though we have the same coaching staff, right? Because you got to think, okay, it's officially, without saying it's Dylan Raiola's, definitely probably offense and maybe the team. Whether he likes it or not, that's the truth. This is right. But you can't just tell me this is your team. Now you got to deal with everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're out in forefront. Now it's kind of like where Adrian went from. Remember when Adrian came in, was like you had a couple NFL receivers, you had a really good running back, the best offensive line, and obviously Scott Frost's tenure. And then next year was Heisman talk. It's the same thing. Yeah. Now what has to happen is this, because the known guys are gone, right? Banks is gone, Nayer's gone, Fedoni's gone, linemen are gone, the offensive linemen are gone, your defensive linemen are gone, Tommy Hill's gone, Gifford's gone. Like, you're losing some guys, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fine. Bullock was gone. It's probably if Ty Robinson didn't really step up that second half of the season, he's your defensive MVP. Mm-hmm. So he's gone. The leadership, the toughness is gone. But those guys have been here through the previous regime and here. So now all those guys are gone. Now this is the new version. Now the new guys have got to show and prove and show some of the qualities that they were able to watch for maybe a year or two, or just let alone for this whole football season, and then make it their way. And this is what's probably created some anxiety, but then also some excitement too, because as much as like if you're sitting on the sidelines, like I'm waiting for my chance. Well, when you get your chance, you got to be ready for it. And then you got to also, make good on it too.
You really do. And I think that that's an important point to bring up, because I think a lot of Husker fans are ready to leave the losing behind. All Husker players should be ready to leave losing behind. But are Ty Robinson and John Bullock the same players they are this last year without having gone through that struggle? You don't know. And that's hard to say. Yeah. But my main point of that isn't just, they needed to go through all that to get to where they were. The point is that they faced a different kind of adversity that their work that they put in, hopefully this team never has to face.
Yeah.
Right. They shouldn't have to face 3-9, 4-8, 5-7, 4-8, that kind of stuff. The hope is that kind of adversity is behind you.
Yeah.
But how does this current team and any future team find the same, if not extra motivation to make sure that 6-6 feels like 3-9 to them? They're going to work hard enough so that 6-6 is adversity instead of dipping back below.
That's that culture versus, like, the blueprint is coming from the coaches and, administration, but the culture set forth by all the leaders and guys that whether it's the Shavers, Barney, obviously Dylan, Emmett, everybody. It could be Latowski, it could be Gunnar Couture. All those guys have to make sure that is the known. Mm-hmm. Now, I will tell you, I have a little bit of experience with this, and I'll get to it real quick before we go to break. Is the hopefully the foundation that the guys that I just mentioned that are no longer going to be able to be Huskers are moving on to better things, hopefully, or bigger and better things, laid a foundation that's actually part of something bigger and respected, and then obviously taken to another level. My experience is this: going through that grind. First of all, I would never want to do this again, but getting traded to Houston, being on that defense and going through that grind, and then literally holding that franchise together in that defensive meeting room for 3.5, 4 years, we didn't see the payoff. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you one thing was Coach Joe was our special teams coach, and, was able to stay on after Dom. And even when Gary Kubiak was there, then obviously Bill O'Brien, it was embedded in that franchise from the owner. Now, which would probably be Troy Dannon or, and obviously, on down, that these are the guys that are making it easier for you right now. And the best thing was the bridge was Andre Johnson, because he also knew it too.
Yeah.
And then D'Amico. So then therefore, it's still a family. It's not, where we were, so that's where I think those guys could really in the future, obviously be part of something. Now it's up to the players that are on the team now to take it to another level. You got a little bit of taste. I remember we missed the playoffs by 2 games. So we went from nothing to a little bit of something to right on the brink. And then the GM wanted to save his job, so he blew up the defense and goes to the offense. And then they started. Then that gave him kind of a bridge year. And then Gary Kubiak then took it to a whole nother level. But that was the hardest thing, man. I mean, where you see it and it's almost like you're chasing it and then get the fruition. But when we have our alumni weekends and stuff, it's definitely, all for one and part of the process. So that's what they can do. And that's what they should do. And but it's up to the young guys that have been, wanting more and wanting to go out there and compete on a high level. They got to take advantage of it. So we're going to take advantage of this break, come back, and we'll give some tips on what we want from the Huskers tonight going against USC at 8 o'clock. So Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, we'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Let me introduce y'all to my canes. We got chicken fingers. They hit the spot, baby. Fries are golden crispy, Texas toast crunchy, and they cane sauce creamy rich. One love.
Family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
It's the new year, and it's time for a new John Deere. Acres has all new John Deere compact tractors, mowers, and Gator UTVs on sale with money-saving financing options. Whether it's recreation or landscaping, Acres has the John Deere for you. Visit your local Acres store for details. And don't forget, Acres has a full lineup of used equipment as well. Act now. These incentives expire January 31st, 2025. Financing program subject to proof credit with John Deere Financial. Some restrictions may apply.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran, facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your County Veteran Service Officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Austin Oerman, Jay Foreman. About 5 minutes here before we dive into what the Huskers need to do. Not even that, a couple minutes. I think that Austin, again, just like the last game, I think it's just finished. And number one, I think it's a good assumption that we'll start faster at home, offensively. And then I think defensively, we need to really, really crank it up against USC. When you watch USC, obviously St. Thomas is coming back. He played up there in Omaha. I think Bellevue, or actually at Millard North.
Yep.
And that great team that they had. You want to welcome him back with a good defensive intensity effort. Throw different body types at him, so they're going to try to get him off early. But they're guard led, and so the rotations and then getting them off their spots is going to be huge. Meaning, the first guard, and you can't let them rotate the ball where they can catch and shoot or drive and get it up to the rim as like they used to. So you got to make them do a lot of things that they don't want to do, and then obviously offensively, I want to see a little bit more aggression.
I think that aggression would manifest on the offensive boards.
Yep.
I think that's where Nebraska is going to have the easiest time creating extra possessions, more so than from their defense. Fred Hoiberg, I was at his press conference yesterday and said he thought they got their defensive intensity back against Maryland. Still wasn't peak.
Yeah.
Still wasn't ideal. I mean, you let your guard down, Gillespie hits the 3 at the very end of the first half. Guess what? You lose by 3.
Yeah.
It's more than just a one possession game, right? It's not just that simple. But against a team like USC, I wonder if it's easier to stay locked in on your defensive assignment and bring that intensity because they don't have one or two guys to key on, right? Like Rutgers, where Harper and Bailey, they're going to get theirs. They're just that talented. Not that USC doesn't have good players, but pretty much everyone on the floor is a threat at all times. That's how Musselman likes to play. So you can't afford to get caught slipping because you're on a quote-unquote easier matchup or a secondary piece. 5 guys in double figures, 4 or 5 guys on the court that can handle the ball and get to the rim at all times. If you're not locked in, someone will take advantage of it.
Yeah, this is like the equivalent of playing in the city championship. Everybody's going to try to get there. So you got to You're going to be on it. I think it could bode well for Nebraska. I think if Nebraska brings a more of a physicality standpoint as far as like our bigs, and obviously throw Juwan Gary in there, and obviously Bryce and Raleigh, I think as well, as far as like that. I always say the Sam Griesel kind of back to the basket and be able to get some quick buckets that way. I think you can slow USC down and make them uncomfortable. When you watch USC this year, they struggle when they're not comfortable. When they are able to kind of play that up and down game that Musselman likes to do, and it's kind of 5 out, everybody can do it all, and then it's kind of real rhythmic, and it's just they're playing at their pace. They're really, really good. When they're not able to play at their pace, they struggle immensely. So if Nebraska can make them do something they don't want to do, it bodes well, and then everybody would be happy.
Oh, and please, for the love of God, finish at the rim.
Yeah. That's what I want. It's
better than 75% on layups.
It's a big Juwan Gary game.
Yes,
I think he's going to be the junkyard dog mentality. So, anyways, that's us. That's us for this Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on Thursday. Strick from Places Unknown. We'll probably.
Oh, Stricky's out. Me and Nick tomorrow again.
Oh man, that's all right. I might come in early so I can mess with Nick. Anyways, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School Crew. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 29th is $2 off bacon, $2 off summer sausage, and 20% off on crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work